All right, so number 5 is ordinance number 1249, an ordinance of the City of Hollister, amending section 2.04.050 of chapter, am I in the right place there? Of chapter 2.04 of Title II of the Hollister Municipal Code. Can we get a staff report, City Attorney?
Yes, thank you, Mayor and Council. So before you again tonight is another introduction of the ordinance amending section 2.04.050, which is the meeting's time and place. At the last council meeting, it was introduced via public hearing for the meeting, or the revisions to state the meetings would occur on Mondays at beginning at 4 p.m. Council then gave direction for the ordinance revisions to reflect Tuesdays at 9 a.m. So that's why it's before you for another introduction. Depending on what council does with this tonight, it will come back on consent calendar at the next meeting. And I'm available for any questions.
Okay, let's have some questions. Vice Mayor Resendez.
I'd like to hear from the public first. Thank you.
Councilmember Burns.
Thank you, Mayor. So, a little spoiler alert for City Attorney. I'm sorry for this, but I'm going to, I actually, I think, made the motion to take it to Tuesday at 9, given the fact that there was a majority that were willing to go that direction. I would like the council to reconsider taking it back to Mondays and prefer the 4 p.m. start. And I apologize to the city attorney's office for me being wishy-washy on this. I'm not convinced will have a chilling effect on the public, but I'll save those comments for after public comment. So my apologies, and I would hope this council would consider maybe bringing it back again for introduction with going back to Mondays at 4. Thank you.
Councilmember Perez, do you have questions?
No, I am definitely good. I am going to go for daytime. I think this is the best time for council to be, it's the best time for us, is daytime. And I think that it's going to, this, like the roundabout, is going to turn out to be something that everyone's going to be happy about instead of so mad that they're stopping at a stoplight. It's going to be the same thing.
We won't know, we're not here.
I'm sorry, you're not supposed to be talking.
Please just
So-
focus.
Anyways, so I think that this is going to be like that. Can we quiet this courtroom down, please, or this room down? Because there's a lot of chatter.
Okay, I think we're good. Go ahead.
Okay, so thank you for being quiet, Commissioner. Thank you for showing the people how to follow the rules.
Point of order.
Good job.
Unacceptable.
Very.
All right,
Very, it's
all right.
very acceptable.
We're good. Let's move on. Councilmember Morales, did you have any questions?
Good job.
No, no questions.
Okay, I don't have any questions either, so I'm going to go ahead and open it up to public comment.
Okay, our first speaker is Catherine Sanchez, to be followed by Marta Garcia.
I'm Catherine
Please go ahead.
Sanchez. I'm a Hollister resident in District 1 and a Hollister Guardian member. I'm against the proposal to change the start time to daytime. It's not fair to members of the public who work in the daytime and are interested in attending a meeting in person or online. It does not treat the current council members equally. The ones who have day jobs will have to arrange to be at the meetings so it doesn't conflict with their day job. Remove the proposal. It's not in the public interest. The public interest is your primary concern. This proposal does not assure fair and equal treatment of all persons. Yo estoy en contra de la propuesta de cambiar el horario de inicio al día. No es justo al público que trabaja durante el día y están interesados en atender una junta en persona o en línea.
They have the ability to translate, so you don't have to translate for them.
City Attorney, can we stop the clock and can you weigh in on that? If somebody wants to speak in English and something in Spanish, do we have the right to stop them from doing that?
No, they can still speak that way.
Thank you.
I
My
think what it
apologies.
was that we have a system that translates, but regardless, you can still speak in whatever language you want to speak in.
Can you give her a few seconds back on? Thank you.
Back to one.
Interesados en atender una junta en persona o en línea. No trate igual a los que están en el concilio. Los que tienen trabajos durante el día van a tener que arreglar para entender las juntas que no esté en conflicto con su trabajo del día. Quiten la propuesta, no beneficia al público. El beneficio del público es su meta. Esta propuesta no asegura que todos reciben trato justo y igual.
The next public speaker is Marta Garcia, followed by Carlos Medrano. Marta Garcia? Okay, the next public speaker is Carlos Medrano, followed by Jackie Morris Lopez.
Carlos is not here.
Vote.
The next public speaker is Jackie Morris Lopez, followed by Bella Rosales.
Good morning,
I'm-
good afternoon, good evening,
Can you-
Mayor and
can you
Council
give
and
me-
staff.
Can you give me just a moment while
Oh,
I
sure.
fix this after the last one?
Okay, you want to zero
Oh,
it
you only
out?
got 2
Yes, I'm
seconds.
trying to.
Okay, thank you very much. Good
Oh,
evening,
okay, go
everyone. I've been here so long, I lost track of time. My name is Jackie Morris Lopez. I'm a resident of San Juan Bautista. I'm also one of their city council members. And I just want to say thank you for the public that showed up. This is true public engagement. And I really wish that my city would get this big of a turnout. Anyway, I'm here tonight in protest of your ordinance that you're about to consider changing your meeting time from Monday, first and third Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. to what was originally Tuesday. Now it looks like it's maybe going back to Monday at 4 p.m. That's not good enough. And for all the obvious reasons, you're really going to limit public participation. You're only going to get a crowd of maybe some retired people or maybe night shift workers, but you're not going to get a diverse crowd out here. And this is your job to represent your constituents, your residents. And by doing that, you're not going to do your job. I, as a city council member, have come up against this in my short tenure of a little over a year. Lo and behold, we had a hidden ordinance that said we had a hard stop at 10 p.m. So the mayor, the vice mayor, the rest of you council members can take control of your time. You can do it very many ways. You can write an ordinance that has a hard stop. You can have a second meeting, a special meeting. You can limit the presentation. You can limit even ourselves on the dais. How much do we want to talk? If we're not making cogent points and we're repeating ourselves, we too should be held to a higher standard to not drag this on. Just for your information, I did a hard research or quick research this weekend. As far south as King City, as far north as Morgan Hill, only 2 cities had weird times that started in the morning, and that was only 2 out of 7 cities. So I urge you to not change the time. Thank you.
The next public speaker is Bella Rosales, followed by John R.
As you've heard, many of us here oppose the proposal to shift the city council meetings to daylight hours because that would make it impossible for working residents to attend. The people I represent work so hard to provide for their families, and they shouldn't be barred from participating because of that. These meetings affect their lives, and every concerted effort should be taken to make the meetings more accessible. Because you can say that you want the community to get involved in these meetings, but if you make this change to the meeting time, that would suggest otherwise. Because we cannot be in 2 places at once. We cannot be at work and be here. Prove to us that you mean what you say. Don't adopt this amendment.
The next public speaker is John R., followed by Pete Munoz-Cowan.
Ready to go. Okay, let's talk time. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, which is a division of the Department of Labor, 66.1% of the workforce starts on or before 0900. If you've seen Highway 25 during the early commute, you've seen the evidence. If we were to take a statistical sample and just apply it to Hollister, there's probably a higher percentage of people that start earlier. In my opinion, by imposing this 9 a.m. city council meeting start time, you've already made the opportunity for those who work before 9 o'clock or 10 or 11 painfully difficult, if not impossible, to attend. Decision making, in my opinion, has no clock. If you are having trouble making decisions late into the evening, you should question your professional fortitude. Quite frankly, in my opinion, I've seen some very poor decisions, and they had nothing to do with the time of day. You have better options for making times, and you can even explore other days of the week. So here's some friendly advice. There is so much downside to starting at 9 a.m. For one thing, look at optics. Who causes this the most problem for on the city council if you start at 9 a.m.? We've heard this song before, and I'm getting quite sick of it, quite frankly. It would be much better to keep the current time of 6 p.m., even if it means late nights or an extra day. It's as simple as that. Thank you.
The next public speaker is Pete Munoz-Cowan, followed by Andy Shaw-Corin. The next speaker is Andy Shaw-Corin, followed by Carly Robles.
I guess my theme this evening has been public participation, and it's clear that you got a lot of people who are out here in the evening because they can be here in the evening. That's when the public is free. They can turn off their television set and come to a city council meeting and find out what's going on in their city and engage if they want to bring issues to your attention. But most of the public doesn't have that kind of flexibility. I'm retired. I can plan my day, and I could do it in daytime or I could do it in the evening. But that's not the case for many, many people. It's also not the case for young people who are in school. They can't come and observe the civic experience if you have your meetings during the day. And they're not going to be cut loose from their school, and that wouldn't probably be a very good thing, maybe once as a field trip or something, but they couldn't make a regular time of participating if you had your meetings during the day. So the other thing that it excludes is not just those who want to attend, but those who want to run for office. You're basically saying that people who have full-time jobs should probably not consider, most people, running for city council. Because, you know, unless they've got an employer that gives them tremendous flexibility, which a lot of employers do not, then they wouldn't be able to come and serve on this council. So I think all in all, it's probably not a good idea. Thank you.
The next public speaker is Carly Robles, followed by Jasmine Castillo Rosales.
All right. So I don't understand why you need to change the time. I think it's working pretty well the way we have it. A lot of us are able to come here after work, even though 6:30 is still kind of early considering the commute that a lot of us make. Mia, you stated on Nextdoor, and I saw somewhere else, that you couldn't make good decisions after 10 o'clock. And I've been to several of these meetings, and specifically one on the general plan, where you changed the general plan at midnight. So does that mean it's a bad decision? Maybe that needs to be looked at again. And Perez, you said you couldn't make good decisions after 9:15 at one of the meetings. I have it recorded. So does that mean your general plan ideas were bad too? If you can't make good ideas past 10, that says a lot about your character. And I'm really glad that you're not my parents. Time and time again, the majority of the council has let us down. And when I say us, I'm speaking of their constituents, not the developers. It doesn't matter what time of the day or night it is. I honestly believe they just don't want to hear from us. I know you're getting tired of us and our signs and us complaining. But if we have to come at 9 in the morning, we'll make it happen. We'll come at any time we have to. But it would be a lot easier for us and for people who don't usually come and would like to start coming and learning about how government works, I think you should keep it at 6:30. Thank you.
The next public speaker is Jasmine Castillo Rosales, followed by J.W. Payne. She's online.
Thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Awesome. Thank you. Hello, City Council. Again, my name is Jasmine Castillo Rosales, and I am a proud Hollister Guardian. Today, I come before you not just as a concerned citizen, but as a voice for the countless individuals in our community who feel silenced and marginalized by the proposed change in the timing of our City Council meetings. The suggestion to shift these crucial gatherings to 9 a.m. is not just inconvenient, it's an outright injustice. It's a slap in the face to every hardworking member of our community who struggles to balance their daily responsibilities and still find time to engage with local governance. Imagine the single parent who works tirelessly to provide for their family, only to be told that they must choose between attending a city council meeting and putting food on the table. Or the dedicated student who dreams of shaping the future of our city but finds themselves unable to participate because their classes conflict with this new schedule. These are the voices that will be drowned out if we allow this change to go unchallenged. And let us not forget our District 2 representative who has tirelessly fought on our behalf, only to be sidelined by a decision made without regard for his commitment and dedication to our community. How can we claim to have a representative government when one of our own elected officials is unable to speak for us? This is not just about logistics or scheduling conflicts. This is about fairness, about justice, and ensuring that every member of our community has a seat at the table and a voice that is heard. To push forward with this change would be to betray the very principles upon which our democracy stands. So I implore you, members of the City Council, to reconsider. Stand with your constituents, stand with your representative, and stand on the side of justice. Keep our meetings at the same time that allow all residents to participate, to share their concerns, and to shape the future of our city together. Thank you.
The next public speaker is J.W. Payne, to be followed by Fallon Gregg.
Madam Mayor, I want to apologize for my laughter over here. When you mentioned the thing about the circle, I'm one of those truck drivers that 3 of our truck drivers already got in accidents because of that circle. So I want to apologize. I should not have laughed. Please, Rick, please apologize. I'm tired. You didn't respond. It's okay. I apologize. I'll just make this very quick. We are the people. We, the people, should have the right to go to work, make our money, and then have these meetings. Now, we should not, and I'm going to say shame on all of us, we should not insult each other, okay? God comes first, just straight up. I maybe disagree with you, but I will not insult you. I have heard that several times here because you know why? People are frustrated. You're changing something that has been here for, excuse me. My wife says, what's the ETA? Go to bed. So how long have we had the 6:30 time? When have we ever had it in the morning? Because this has always been a community that went to work and came home. Unfortunately, our traffic's getting harder and harder, and it's harder for us to get back and forth to work. But it's important for us to come over and be part of this in a nice way, polite, on both sides. Both sides, sir, both sides. Because we are not going to work together if we're going to yell at each other. Please don't clap. Thank you.
The next public speaker is Fallon Gregg, to be followed by Dom Zanger.
Good evening again. I strongly oppose moving the council meetings from the current time of 6:30 p.m. to 9 o'clock a.m. City council meetings by design are a place where the public can come and voice agreement or disagreement. By changing the meeting time, you are in effect prohibiting public participation and transparency in our local government. It gives the appearance of you wanting to hide the decisions the council is making. It shows weakness and creates suspicion about the council's actions. In our country, government is of, by, and for the people. Again, I strongly urge you to keep the current 6:30 p.m. meeting time. Keep the people's voice in their local government. Thank you.
The next public speaker is Dom Zanger, to be followed by Victoria Montoya.
Good evening, everyone, Good evening, public, mayor, council. I'm here because your meetings are so much more exciting than ours, the supervisors. No, I'm here to advise against changing the time to the day, and that's coming from me having meetings at 9 a.m. We have ours at 9 a.m., and I'll tell you there's a few problems with that, and that's we hear a lot of frustration from the public. People are upset, they are frustrated that they can't make it to the meetings, and I've pushed to have the time changed. It hasn't happened yet, but I hear it all the time. People are upset. They say, why do you have it in the middle of the day? No one can show up. And they're right. They have a right to be upset about that. And so it does create problems. And the other problem it would cause more for you guys than for us as supervisors is that you're limiting the candidate pool that could run for office. You're drastically limiting that pool that could run. It has to be someone that's retired or owns a business or something like this that can make their own hours. And that's something else you really don't want to be doing. And so I thought about Councilmember Burns's, I think it was your original idea of the 4 p.m. with a hard stop. I think it's obvious that you should go with something that, I guess in the medical world, they'd say, least invasive treatments first. Doesn't make any sense to me to dramatically change the time to the day. If there's a problem, it's not working, maybe set a hard stop at some point and continue, have an extra meeting every now and then. Maybe move the time a little bit, tweak it as needed, but it really doesn't make sense to me to change it so dramatically. I would think it'd make a lot more sense to go with the smaller step first and see if you can fix it before doing something so drastic. So that's just my advice coming from someone that has the 9 a.m. meetings. So I hope you consider it. Thank you.
The next public speaker is Victoria Montoya, to be followed by Lucy Rodriguez.
Okay, I'm here only to say about 3 or 4 things. No on the timing change. The second one, timing like this, when there's a special problem, should be a special meeting. It's too long. Number 3, I like to see the personal stuff between city council outside of the public. It's just not what I like to see. Also, number 4, voters don't work for the city. We vote people in city council to do the work. All I want to know is, you got the job done? I saw it, I heard it, you told me. And if this not gonna happen, I believe in volunteers doing a survey or doing a community, finding out how everybody feels, get that information in before we start attacking each other and getting it's too long and it's too boring. It's always the same people complaining. I like to say a change and more respect. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next public speaker is Lucy Rodriguez, to be followed by Rob Bernowski.
Good evening. My name is Lucy Rodriguez. I'm just here for a short, a little brief input. I don't think that the 9 o'clock time for the meetings is a good idea. There's a lot of us that have jobs. We have grandkids to take care of. And the only time that we have to be able to be out is in the evening when the parents are home to take care of their kids. And I wouldn't be able to make any of the meetings because I have 2 grandkids that I take care of. And I just want to know what's going on in my city, so that time just wouldn't work. And then we have a lot of our workers that are at work at that time, making the money for the families. Some of them work late also, and they rush home from work to be here. And, some of them work in the fields, long hours. They're tired and they come to the meetings. I just don't think it's a good idea, and I hope you guys reconsider and we keep our same meeting times. Thank you.
The next public speaker is Rob Bernowski, followed by Peter Hernandez.
Good evening. The real reason I'm there. This is Rob Bernowski, chairman of the San Benito County Republican Party. I'm open-minded. I'm against the daytime meetings, but I'm open-minded because what I see is missing here is whoever is proposing this, or that the city is, make it a business case. Is this going to result in more participation or less participation? Is it going to result in city employees not being available during the day? I see the chief sitting up there. If he's up there during an entire day meeting or half day, he's definitely not managing his department because he's there when most of the employees are there. Will it save the city any money? Does it change the quality of life for the employees? But to do this based on just emotions or personality, I have to tell you, I'd be disappointed if you do make that decision without actually, again, stating the business case one way or another and just see where it outcomes so that you can make, again, a decision based on facts instead of those, again, opinions or emotions or personalities. So I also would encourage you to figure a way to have more efficient meetings. By way of example, if people emailed their comments in and then each council member, their respective council member, actually responded, I don't know if they do or not now, so the constituents felt that they were being heard, would that reduce the number of public speakers at the public speaker's choice so that your meetings would become, again, more efficient? So anyway, good luck, but I do know this. Local control means local participation. So
Thank you.
Let's try to keep that.
The next public speaker is Peter Hernandez, to be followed by Lulu Fee.
I share this as an encouragement, Mayor and Council, obviously disagreeing with the sentiment of change it to 9 a.m. So your actual ordinance says, or the brief description, a change to the city council meeting start time requires an ordinance amendment and must comply with the Brown Act. So that is under Government Code Section 54950, which is basically talking about the deliberations of the people's business. If you read that code, it specifically says the people of the state do not yield their sovereignty to the agencies which serve them. The people, in delegating authority, do not give the public servants the right to decide what is good for the people to know and what is not good for them to know. The people insist on remaining informed so that they may retain control over the instruments they have created. That's, I think, pretty powerful because it's the reality. I served as a county supervisor and actually as the chair of the board, which I know that they're long days and they're long and drawn out, but efficiency can happen in a lot of ways. And I think if you really want to make sure that you're encouraging public participation, which actually has another really strong point is the people themselves are your greatest benefit, your greatest supporters, guiding your discretion. I go by the proverb that says there's wisdom in the counsel of many. When we learn to listen to the people that are actually involved in the pain of the daily lives of the city, they by default become your best informants as to how to resolve those issues. So as the chair of the board, we actually fine-tuned our meetings. We had strong conversations about making sure the presentations were limited. We set caps on them. We actually set an expectation for a hard stop. I, as the chair, would basically try to make sure that when the other fellow board members were speaking, that I would gently nudge them and encourage them, obviously, to get to the point and ultimately to tune their conversations and even set limits. So you can do things to make it efficiently while still encouraging the public participation. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next public speaker is Lulu Fee, to be followed by Elias Salinas.
Hi, it's Lulu. I'll keep this short. Rick, you say that you care about your community. Then I ask the following to you and your fellow council members who want to change the time of these meetings. Why are you attempting to keep us from engaging in our community, in our city, in our democratic system? How are we to be involved in city matters that certainly pertains us when we are not able to be a part of it? I urge you all to think about the harm that you are causing us. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next public speaker is Elias Salinas, to be followed by Julio Rodriguez.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Madam Mayor, council members. So by looking around in the room, I can guarantee you that I have attended more city council meetings than anybody all put together in this room. I have been in this room when no one else was in this room except for your city employees. I have been in these chambers for meetings that lasted until 2 o'clock in the morning, and people were gone. And what happens the next day on Tuesday? You have a meeting of your department heads and your city employees every week, every Tuesday. And these folks, your employees, are here until you leave. Some of them have to lock up and you're already gone, and they're still here. And they have to get up early in the morning and they have to show up to work. Changing the time is being respectful of your employees as well as of their time. Many a time throughout the years on Mondays, former Chief David Westrick was watching the football games, still attending the meeting, but he would rather have been home watching the football game, Monday Night Football. So, running the city is a business. Being able to do this during the daytime when all staff is available to you on something that's coming up. And one of the things that happens at the Board of Supervisors is the staff does not have to sit there. They can be doing their job, and when their item is coming up, then they come and they do their report. That is being functional and saving money and being respectful of your employees. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's have a little further deliberation. Vice Mayor Resendez.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And again, thank you all for staying here. I know it's a long meeting, but it's an important one. I wanted to hear you speak because that is what democracy is. We're here to represent you. You elect us into office. We're here to work for you. And on that note, I think that we should conduct business during the time that you can participate in it. City Manager, do you have any experience? I heard this over and over again about being more efficient. Do you personally have any experience? And I've brought this up before that it probably falls on us. Like, what can we do to be more efficient? What are some things that we can look into? I know there's lots of things out there. Have you ever had worked with anything that can help us be more efficient to conduct the people's business?
So one of the things that I offer all is an agenda briefing where, everybody is allowed to one-on-one and ask any questions they may have, as well as calls throughout the week. In my former experience, one of the things that we used, we did have voting tools that were used, a panel up front, for lack of better words, where the board chair would actually queue up the 3 minutes, would actually take motions through the system. So would start an item, ask for questions. The system would actually allow them to queue up if they wanted to ask a question. So you wouldn't have to go down the line and ask each person if they wanted to ask a question or if they had comments. It would be queued up in the order received. So oftentimes you'd have one or two, or maybe all, depending on the topic, weigh in. And then the chair would call based on that order, similar with making the motion and then ultimately voting as well. And then that vote would be recorded. And that was, kind of overseen by the clerk and kind of a partnership with the clerk and at that time where I was at the board chair.
Oh, it does sound more efficient. And then I would just say, I'm sure Mr. IT, Paul Silva, that there's got to be other technology out there that's going to help us to better serve the people. That was, some things were brought up about emails. Some things are brought up about maybe digitizing the way that they can log in to get to public comment. So I would say that before we do something so drastic as to change the time to 9 a.m., that we ourselves become more efficient and we support our staff in doing that. Number two, we just came off of a campaign. I go out there and I talk to the citizens every single campaign, whether I'm running or not. And I can tell you, there is a lot of distrust of government in general and of local government. It's bad optics, especially when we have so many people coming out here back to back to back to back, meeting after meeting after meeting with all of these signs. We can't take it personal. I get criticized up here all the time. They have a right to come up here, and this is what we want. We want to hear from our constituents. So I welcome the criticism, and I welcome you guys being here. And please call me anytime I'm available. I watched the 2 previous videos, and I heard from the mayor, and I heard from Councilmember Burns. If it's important to them, they will come. If it's important, they will come. Well, they're here. The people are here. They're telling you it's important. And I have heard from the constituents that this is an important issue. So please listen to the people that are here, because this is important to them. Students, we had 50 students here. I'm a teacher. I have to take time off of work. I have to get substitutes. I haven't had to miss a day of work. And if you change the time, I wouldn't be able to come here. We have principals coming here, and they're telling us how unsafe their schools are. He's got a school to run in the daytime. He wouldn't be able to come here. We've got somebody that's Zooming in from Sacramento probably on business, on your dollar. She's supposed to work in the day, so then is she going to get paid for being at work from the county of Santa Clara and taking time off to be here at work as well? I can't do that because I work in education, and I really don't like taking time off of work unless it's an emergency. And then our commuters. We've had several people come up here and say they get up at 3, 4 a.m. I like what Supervisor Zanger said. I like what Councilmember Burns said. I'm all for for compromise. I'm all for being least invasive. If this is a problem, then I would support Monday at 4 with us looking at ways of being more efficient, supporting our staff to do that. And then we have to have extensive press releases out there to notify the public of the time change. And that's what I would support tonight. Thank you.
Councilmember Burns?
Thank you, Mayor. So just a couple thoughts. For me, I've heard what people have said. I've heard everybody say don't change it, minus one person. That I appreciate what Ms. Salinas said about being respectful of our staff's time. I think there are ways to negotiate that to when a lot of the department heads don't have things on the agenda. I don't know that it's necessary, or if they want to watch a football game and Zoom in, as long as they're not our chief of police, I'd probably be okay with that. For me, I think what was most influential was hearing the one past board member and the one present board member say, didn't work so well. I was one of those people where I currently work in county government, and our board meetings are on a daytime as well on Thursdays, on Tuesdays. And so the attendance is the attendance. I've worked for the city of Fresno, and their meetings were, I think, on Thursdays, as I recall. And their attendance, depending on what was on the agenda, was dependent on what the draw is, as our agendas do. So I've seen that it can work, but for me, the most convincing thing was hearing all but one person say, don't do it. And in addition to that, the 2 board members. So I too would support better technology, and I've seen it work in other jurisdictions where you have the voting board and those kind of things. And it seems like we're probably still in the 19th century here in many ways. And so I think we could improve, and I do think we could do it on Mondays at 4 with a hard stop at 10. This is going to be a long agenda tonight, and we've done a lot of yakking up on the dais. And so, I think we could be smarter in how we do business. And so those would be my thoughts. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Perez, your thoughts?
So, you know what, it's like, I keep hearing things about everyone works, and you know what, so do I. So do I. And it's like, you know what, Tim Burns, you know what, you're right. There's so many people that came up and spoke against changing the time schedule. And you know what, I think all of them are guardians. So it's like, and then we have these county board of supervisors coming over and interjecting. I think it's really nice and very, it's nice. But you know what? This is the city of Hollister, and I am a city councilman, and I am looking out not just for my district, but for the rest of the community. And I truly believe that the people that I've talked to have told me they would rather have it during the daytime than everyone that comes at night, because not everybody wants to be up so late at night. And believe it or not, so does staff. Public participation in all this, very good. But you know what? I hear so many people, when we're talking about public participation and no one wanting to run, why? Because some people are just attack people on the way they campaign instead of just running their own campaign and just telling all the good things that you do. You got to talk about the other the person in bad ways. That's wrong. And I'm not pointing fingers at anybody. I'm just going like that. What was the other one? Oh yeah, having a hard stop. So we're going to work 6 hours, 4 to 10. Okay. Anything that doesn't get done, it's only city business. What big deal is it, right? It can be put off till next time, 2 more weeks, next month. Kick that can down the road. No. I think it's, and you know what? Can we change it if it doesn't work? Yes. Why are you so opposed? Why is everyone so opposed to it? Is it like the traffic circle and the 3 guys that get in an accident? And I'm sure it was the traffic circle that caused the accident, not the drivers, right? Because traffic circles always cause accidents, not the people driving them. So where are we going with this? I truly believe that it's going to be better for us to do this in the morning, and that's why I'm doing it this way. It's not because I'm against the Guardians. Do I believe everything you guys put out? No. But I do know that it's going to be better for staff, and we don't know, where did he go? Supervisor, it's talking about how it's not, people complain because they don't come. How many people are complaining because they're too tired, or when they get home, they can't come to the meetings because, you know what? They got softball, baseball, soccer, music lessons, all these other things. So you know what? You can give me all the excuses and all the reasons not to do something, but you know what? What about all the reasons and all the excuses to do something? And you know what? It's better. You guys don't know what it's like being up here until, what time is it, 10 o'clock? Yeah? Excuse me?
Okay, don't respond, please. Okay, no back and forth, please. This is council member, you finishing.
Okay, well then
finishing
ask them to be quiet like the rules say.
Yes.
Enforce them.
All right, the audience, please stop talking, okay?
So, it's ridiculous. Everyone gets away with it. And disappointed, 4 to 10, it's like, no. I would go for Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, anything during the day, because I have a life too. I have grandchildren. Excuse me? Yeah, I don't drink, lady. Yeah. So, keep poking at me. It's okay. It'll come back.
Yeah, please, just focus.
Okay. So, as far as I'm concerned, I'll be here at 9 o'clock any day of the week.
All right.
And taking care of business. And taking care of the community. All the community, not just some of it.
Councilmember Morales, did you have some comments?
I did, thank you. Thank you for all those who spoke. Originally, this came forth because a lot of our meetings were going very late. We had staff that were going to Seaside. At least I was very concerned, or other places outside of the county where sometimes I think somebody was going to Fresno. And so if you haven't been on our roads at night, especially during that time, for me, it's a concern from people's livelihoods. In addition, I think we say that we're going to do a hard stop and we get permission after 10 o'clock, but we really don't, because we need to take care of city business, and it would not be appropriate to, again, kick it down the road. So from a business perspective, in terms of staff, we should stop at 10, but we don't. Oftentimes our staff are here. We're not taking away from city business if we are moving it to the daytime, because they're going to have to respond. Many of the people here that you see are exempt employees, which means that they're responding whether it's 2 in the morning or 8 o'clock the next day. They're doing their job. I think we have a little bit of empathy and compassion, for everyone that's involved in doing business. We would consider this. Public participation, we've seen, at least in the 2 years that I've been in office, when things are coordinated, people do show up. But for the majority of city council, we really don't have a lot of people that come in. People have an opportunity to also virtually come in if they want to. And for people that want to, we're not limiting people that are interested in running for office. You have a diverse community here. You know, many of us work full-time, have multiple jobs. We're also sacrificing other things in our lives. I think for us to completely disregard all the business reasons because one person can't or chooses not to make it is really not appropriate. However, if this council decides that they do not want to do 9 a.m., then we can do any day of the week in the morning, or we can look at Tuesdays or Fridays at 4 o'clock if we want to test it. But I think that we talked about having a trial run. If it wasn't working for city business, then we would change it back to, Monday at 6:30. But we're not even trying to at least make it work for everybody. We're just trying to make it one person. And I think that's wrong because we're really not looking at the impact that it has on everybody else.
Wow. Okay, so just a few thoughts. First, I want to say that, I know oftentimes people do like to point fingers my way, but this was not my issue. I am retired, and I don't have to work the same constraints as my working colleagues. So I've tried to be very flexible in their discussion around different times. I know we did go back and forth. We did initially start with 4 p.m. And had difficulty coming to agreement on Monday or Tuesday. And we couldn't get consensus to make either of those work, which is why Councilmember Burns had suggested Tuesdays at 9. I'm okay with that as well. Like I said, I have more flexibility, and honestly, when the meetings go till 2 in the morning, I don't necessarily have to get up and run around to a job like some folks or commute out to work. I do see your point of view. I know some of you, it is difficult for you to get here during the day, so I do understand that. But I've also seen that, I've spoken before I became, mayor. I spoke a lot at both the city council and at county meetings. And what I've noticed is when it's an important topic, people do show up. And I've seen many of you who are sitting here tonight and, at county meetings during the day. So I know when it's an important topic, people do show up or call in. So I'm not convinced that no one can participate if it's during the day. The county meetings have been going on for years, and I've seen them packed and I've seen them empty. And it's the same thing with this in the evenings. When there's an important topic, you're all here. But a lot of times it's empty here. And so it kind of goes both ways. But I am flexible, like I said. I'm willing to give any of it a try. And, we hadn't proposed to do something permanent. We were going to, give the 9 a.m. a try, see how it worked for, for everyone, including our staff. I do feel for our staff when, they're here till 1 in the morning and then they got to get up and come in here for meetings again. So I'm trying to be mindful of all of it. One thing that did stick with me was I don't often agree with Mr. Shakaran, but when he was talking about the students, it is important for me for them to be here, and that does sway me a little bit because, if we do it during the day, it's harder for them to participate, and we do like to recognize them. So I'm flexible. I'd like to hear, what the will of the council is and see if we can come to some consensus.
My suggestion would be, can we go down the aisle just to state the date and the time then?
Do we need to vote on this? We do.
We are supposed to vote on
So
this,
I'd like to make a motion.
All right, what's your motion, sir?
My motion would be to keep it on Monday, start it at 4 with a hard stop at 10.
So if I recall.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. Just discussion about this, because if I recall, that was initially what was proposed. It was a problem for a council member who proposed doing it on Tuesday, and then it was a problem for another council member. So is there any wiggle room to try to do a Tuesday at 4 p.m.?
I'd be fine with that as well.
Okay. So,
Mayor, if I may.
Yes.
So for staff on a Tuesday at 4 p.m., I would probably suggest that we would need some time to check into that. That is different than what is being proposed. I've heard Tuesday at 4 p.m., Friday at 4 p.m. Staff too, I'm hearing concerns about the staff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if there's other staff members that may have, babysitting, or child activities. They've all kind of shaped their time around a Monday evening. And so, with the agenda, with the ordinance scheduled for Tuesday at 9, that was the discussion with staff. Tuesday at 4 was not a discussion with staff, nor were the other ideas that were brought forward.
So I think there was a motion for Monday at 4.
motion.
There's a second, and I would call for a vote on that, please.
Is there any further discussion as far as this motion? Anything, Councilmember Morales, anything further?
Yes, I think if we're considering all the council members' schedule, I either propose Tuesday at 4 or Friday at 4. We have other city regional boards that we have to attend. So either do alternating or different alternating Mondays at 4, if that's what you choose, with a hard stop at 10, or look at our other obligations and schedule them around that, because they're only once a month. But if we're on other boards and we can't make everything, then we need to be able to move the schedule around. So either Tuesdays at 4, Fridays at 4, or look at, instead of the Mondays, the second and fourth Mondays that we do now, make it the first and the third. If we're not doing 9 a.m.
All right, so,
I call for a vote, Madam Mayor.
all right, can we take a roll call vote, please?
Okay, so this is for the motion to reintroduce the ordinance for the regular meetings to start on the first and third Mondays at 4 p.m. with the hard stop at 10 p.m. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Councilmember Perez?
No.
Councilmember Morales?
No.
Vice Mayor Resendez?
Yes.
Councilmember Burns?
Yes.
Mayor Casey?
No.
Motion fails 2-3 with Council Members Perez, Morales, and Mayor Casey opposing.
So I think we need to have more discussion around other possibilities, because I'm sure if we try to do a 9 a.m. vote, we're going to end up with is it possible for us to bring this back or with alternative times?
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, you'd have some renoticing issues if you just want to engage in a deeper discussion about it, that's fine. And then come up with direction for an ordinance revision.
Madam Mayor, if I
It's
can ask
council
a
as well.
question.
Sure.
Thank you. I see a sign that's being held up in the audience says referendum time change. What is a referendum? And can you answer questions about people that want to referendum the time change?
So I can't advise the public on a referendum or an initiative, but it is a process that allows citizens to collect signatures to place legislation on the ballot for the voters to decide. So there's very specific timing, very specific signature thresholds that need to be met, but any individual who's looking to do that would need to ask their own
And that
attorney.
would stop the time change up until the November election, is that correct?
I don't think it would stop the time change. If anything passed at the November election, that is what would stop the time
And you need a
change.
3/5 vote to pass this time change, or is it a 4/5 vote?
3/5.
Okay, thank you.
So, Mayor, I'd like to offer up a second motion.
Please.
Tuesday at 4 p.m. with a hard stop of 10 p.m.
Can I get a second on that?
Second.
All right, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Perez?
No.
Councilmember Morales?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Resendez?
No.
Councilmember Burns?
Yes.
Mayor Casey?
Yes.
Motion passes 3-2 with Councilmember Perez and Vice Mayor Vice Mayor Resendez opposing.
Okay. All right. Pardon? Okay, you know what, we can't go back and forth right now. We're going to take a break because it is after 10. I do need consensus from council to continue. Do we have it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to take a 5-minute break then.